Alright, so earlier this year we got a new Fast and Furious movie. That means today I'm going to do a tier list ranking of every single character in the Fast family, a video I've been wanting to do for a while. Now, just to be honest, there's a whole Fast family tree. I'm not going to include everybody. Like, I'm not going to include Owen Shaw. I'm not going to include Cypher, because those to me are still villains in the franchise. Those will be included in my villain ranking. But like people like, see right here, Jason Statham's character, there he is. I will be including him because he's helped the team more than once. And so they're not really any rules, just people I would consider a part of the Fast family. So that is my tier list. But before I get started, please make sure to join me down below in the comments and tell me what is your ranking of the Fast and Furious family. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest Fast and Furious fan. I am. I like a lot of these characters. So, like, I don't even know why bad and the worst exist. I don't think a single one of these characters are bad or the worst. But with that said, we're going to get started and take a time out here. If you're wondering why my voice is weird, I got a bit of scratchy throat today, obviously. So if you can't get behind that, then don't watch the video. Anyways, let's get started with his son, Dom's son, Little B, or Brian. And he never really does anything throughout the franchise. He had a little more screen time in the new film, but he never really does a whole lot for me. He's just like Dom's kid that really elevates the family part of it, and so he's not really a specific character that does anything good or bad. So he's going to go on the May tier for me. Like I said, I like the kid's performance. He's alright, but I mean, it's just like Dom's son. He hasn't had a character arc or anything, so it's really hard to put him on a tier here if I want to put him on good or meh, but I will keep him on meh for now. Next up, we got Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto, and this one is really a bit of a controversial one for a lot of people, because Dominic Toretto has always been a great character for me until the recent controversy about Vin Diesel, who basically is taking this franchise, and every time that something is ruined, it's mainly Vin Diesel's fault. I'm going to hands down say it's Vin Diesel's fault, because he's mad at Jason Momoa for taking the spotlight in Fast X. He got the whole thing to be about family and not just action in F9. I mean, he's done a lot of things to this franchise that made it not be as good as it was in 5, 6, or 7. And so, just because of all that controversy, even though I like the character itself, I gotta put him on meh because of all that controversy surrounding Vin, and Vin is easily the worst part of this Fast and Furious franchise for me. Next up, we got Ramsey, and I don't really know much about Ramsey. She feels like always a side character to me, never really has much to do. She's always on someone else's quest since Furious 7, and I like the actress. She does a good job. She's pretty good enough. She's got good chemistry with Roman and Tej. I just really don't know if I want to put her on the good or the meh tier. Either one of those will fit this character. She's not a great character, but she's a decent character. I might as well just put her on the low good. I mean, meh will be kind of harsh for it, because I like her. She just is, again, a character who hasn't really had her own screen time. Then we got Dom's sister, and I forgot her name for some reason. I'm sure it'll come to me. But Dom's sister is another character like that, who never really has the most amount of screen time, never really had a character arc in these movies. So, I mean, she's a character that I've always enjoyed when she's on screen. Her chemistry with Brian is pretty good. Her chemistry with Dom is pretty good. But she, again, another character who never had her own arc to go off of. It's always part of someone else's arc. And so, I'm also going to put her on the good tier. She's a good character still. I like her. She's just like not one of the great characters. Then we got Han, and Han's a really weird one for me. Same as like with Tej and stuff. In a way, I really like this character. I like the actor. I like a lot of the arc he does. But when he's a part of the Fast family, he's never fully had his own arc. Again, he never had anything that takes him throughout the entire movies. He's always part of Roman or Tej's conflict. And so, as much as I really like him, third film, and I really like him in all the other movies he's in, he's just not the best character because he doesn't really have most of the time. He doesn't really have stuff to do besides just stand there and make sappy remarks. But that's fine because most of his remarks are funny. I'm going to put him on the good tier as well. Then we got Jacob Toretto, and he's only been in 2 movies. He was a villain in one, and now he's part of the family. And mainly Jacob Toretto is held up by John Cena's performance because I absolutely love John Cena. I think he is a hilarious dude. So, I mean, as much as the character himself hasn't really done anything. I mean, he's helped Brian, and he completely had a change of pace from being like this really serious character to now being the character who is basically who John Cena is, the jokester. I can't argue with that because John Cena, every performance of John Cena, I think is really good. So I'm gonna put also John Cena on the good tier. Then we got Isabel, and she's only been in 1 movie. I don't even know why I'm considering her in the Fast family, but I did really like her in that 1 movie. Maybe it's because I really like the actress. I loved her in the Suicide Squad. Maybe it's because the thing where she's part of the family with Elena, who will be next on our tier list. Maybe it's all that. But I kind of dug the character. I kind of dug her backstory. She didn't really annoy me. She wasn't really like the person that was kind of just there and out of the place. And so, honestly, she's better than a lot of these characters because she's been in 1 movie and hasn't really done anything that makes me mad. And I really like the actress again. So, I mean, I got to put her on the good tier. I want to put her on the great, but I'm not going to because she's only been in 1 movie and hasn't had a full arc yet. But she's going on the good tier for me because she's still a really good character. Elena, and this is another good character. She's not really the character that does anything. She's more like a love interest to Dom and stuff. And that really works for me, especially when you get to Fast 8 and you learn that Dom has a son and she dies. You feel that. You feel all of that. You feel the stakes. You feel the emotions after that. And that was the best part of Fast 8. Elena's death because you feel the emotions, and I didn't want to see her go. And even though she, for the rest of films, was more like a side character, that doesn't really matter because, I mean, if a movie can make you, like, not want a character to die, that's good. So she's another character on the good tier. This is Tesh says, and he is a character that like I said, kind of like Han, he's a bit controversial for me because, in a way, I like him. But in a way, I always feel like the actor is holding back his performance as him. He's not loud, he's more quiet. But that really doesn't matter because his chemistry with Roman Pierce is off the charts. I think it's great. I think it's funny. And even though when we first get him in Fast 5, I sat back and I was like, yeah, I don't know, that character doesn't look all that good to me. He seems like he doesn't want to be here. The more the films go, he keeps on the same performance and it never ever changes. And even though it's a bit frustrating for me, I still really like him, and I still think his chemistry with Roman is off the charts, and he's going to have a full arc come around in the rest of the Fast X movies. So, I mean, I still really like the character. I still think he really belongs on the great tier. Jason Statham, baby. We got Jason Statham. Shaw, another... Nope, not on the good. Another character going in the great tier. Me, Shaw is always this character that has been fun. He's had great chemistry with everybody. He's had great chemistry in the Hobbs and Shaw movies. He's a character that is one of the better villains of this because you see that he kind of contradicts what Dom is. Dom is all about family, and so is this guy. He's doing whatever he can to protect his family, and I think that's always an interesting thing in this movie, that you have a villain who helps this family to protect his own family. And obviously, I'm a big Jason Statham fan. I think that his performances are awesome. That first scene that he's in where he walks to a hospital and everybody's like dying, that is absolutely phenomenal because you see that this man has the potential to take out an entire army. And I mean, mainly held up by Jason Statham's performance and just the uniqueness what this character is. He's a more unique character in the franchise that makes you think about things he does. So Jason Statham's character is one of the best for me. And then we got Letty, and Letty has to go on the great tier because she's been with us for all of this time. Michelle Rodriguez's performance is perfect in the role. Her chemistry with everybody is really good. She never fully has an arc except the one where she loses her memory, and I wasn't a huge fan of that arc, but it's mainly upheld by Michelle Rodriguez's performance as a character that I really did dig her, and I found myself laughing a lot of the times at the stuff she says. Her action scenes are pretty good. She's just a great character overall. She hasn't, like I said, the character arc she had wasn't the best, but I still really dig her character, and I feel putting her in good or meh would be disrespecting her and the rest of the franchise. Roman Pierce. And we got our first guy on the best tier, because Roman Pierce, unlike a lot of people, I don't find annoying at all. I think he's the best part of this franchise. I think he's hilarious. His chemistry with Tej and Han and Dom and everybody's off the charts. He's played excellently in this franchise. I mean, I just think that he's my favorite character in the entire franchise. I laugh at everything he says. And that's what these movies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be action comedies. And instead of being like all about family, we get Rowan, who is in here, and he can break the ice every now and then, or every time pretty much, with all of his jokes. And I know a lot of people don't like, oh, screaming is comedy stuff. That's my favorite kind of comedy. I'm sorry. I really like him in this franchise. He's got to be on the best tier. Then we got Luke Hobbs. I almost called him Shaw again. I'm sorry. Then we got Luke Hobbs, and he's also going on the great tier, or the best tier. Anyways, for The Rock, he's a bit controversial subject. What I believe now is when he's a part of a franchise, when he's not doing his own thing like he is with Black Adam, that's when he can make good movies. Black Adam's had so much controversy recently because of stuff The Rock has said, because he thinks he's the best. He is the best in this franchise because he's with other people. He has great chemistry with other people. He's not in control, trying to be the lead here. He's a character who will come in here, have sappy remarks, has muscles, and beats people up. That is cool to me. And this is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's prime, where he's in here and he's like absolutely incredible in these movies. Not only acting wise, but like looking wise and action stunts wise. And he's just a character I really like in this franchise. And I really wish Dwayne The Rock Johnson would go back to doing franchises like this, because this is the one that really works for me. Alright, and our final character, we cannot forget about Brian O'Connor, and that's 3 in a row that is going in the best. Brian O'Connor, I mean, you cannot say that he's anything but the best. Throughout the movies that he was alive in, his chemistry with everybody was off the charts. Everything he does was off the charts. He was an interesting character itself. And then after he died, you feel the emotion and you feel the sadness that this movie has towards him. And you feel that he was carrying this franchise. And that's great. He is a fantastic character. Everything that he does is great. He's actually probably the best character in this franchise for me. I just love him. I think he's great. But that was my tier list for the Fast and Furious characters. I want to know, what is your ranking of all the Fast and Furious characters down below in the comments section. I have a Spider-Man ranking coming up. I have several other videos coming up. On my second channel, I will have a Fast and Furious villains ranking, I promise. I filmed the video, and then the footage got deleted. Dead serious. It makes me real mad, so I'm going to have to refilm it. Anyways, thank you all for clicking on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what is your ranking of the Fast and Furious characters of Fast family. And with that said, subscribe to join the Nerd Army. Peace out.